The Trump administration has gutted the funding of a federal watchdog group effective today. It's the Council of Inspectors General. The group is in charge of policing misconduct and waste in the federal government. But the White House argues they are corrupt. Here's what a spokesperson told CBS News. Inspectors General are meant to be impartial watchdogs, identifying waste and corruption on behalf of the American people. Unfortunately, they have become corrupt, partisan, and in some cases have lied to the public. The American people will no longer be funding this corruption. Let's bring in CBS News Justice correspondent Scott MacFarlane for us, who's live in Washington, D.C. today. Scott, I want you to talk to us about the impact of gutting this agency.
There's a lot of fog of war in Washington, D.C. today because of this shutdown and all the furloughs of many thousands of federal workers. But lost in the fog is that there are some changes taking effect today that will not go back even if the government reopens. There are many workers who took voluntary separation or were fired in recent weeks. They're not coming back. And this move this morning to defund a Council on Inspectors General, which is just so obscure, it masks its importance. But the Council on Inspectors General helps serve about 14,000 federal investigators, inspectors, and auditors to help them police for misconduct, wrongdoing, abuse, fraud, and waste inside the federal government and by administration employees. They are now defunded. Their website is down. It's likely their staff will be furloughed if they haven't been furloughed already as the morning begins here in Washington. And what one former leader of that Council of Inspectors General told me is that you have just gutted the watchdogs. You've taken the watchdogs off the street at a moment in which the government will have a bitter latitude to end up wasting taxpayer money.
Yeah, it's really interesting because the president has said his goal is to cut waste and fraud. So interesting that they're gutting that agency. Scott, we just learned the Supreme Court will take up President Trump's firing of Fed Board Governor Lisa Cook. What happens in the meantime, and how will this play out?
It's a reminder that there is no shutdown of the federal court system. They continue functioning. The U.S. Supreme Court and the district courts throughout the country, they keep churning. And the Supreme Court has now posted in an order that it'll have arguments heard in January on the president's move to fire Lisa Cook from the Federal Reserve Board of Governors. In the meantime, she'll stay on in that post. So this decision to post for these hearings in January keeps Lisa Cook where she is on the Federal Reserve Board, and then gives the Supreme Court this aperture to look at the broader issue about if the president can try to fire somebody on one of those independent boards inside the government, could have an impact on the rest of the Federal Reserve, on monetary issues in America, and on the many other government boards in which the president might want to change personnel.
Yeah, definitely a case to watch there. Scott MacFarlane, thank you so much for your time.